You may or may not know that Jackery and YesWelder have teamed up for this holiday season, and they're both having some big sales on their products. The Jackery is a maker of a solar generator product. They have a lot of different models available. And of course, YesWelder, who has been a sponsor of the DIY Homestead Projects channel for quite some time, they supply welding machines and welding supply and equipment. Well, they've teamed up, and both of them have sent me these products for demonstrating in my videos. Jackery has sent their new Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus solar generator, and YesWelder has sent the YWM 160 multi-process welding machine. So I'm going to use these two pieces of equipment to build what is called a Penrose Triangle, otherwise known as a tri-bar, which is a sculpture that creates an optical illusion like the one you see on the screen now. I've always wanted to build one of those, fabricate it out of steel, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to see if the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus would be capable of being the sole power supply for all of my welding, cutting, grinding in building this tri-bar. A few details about the Jackery. My understanding, their new line, the Plus line, has the latest battery technology, which is the lithium LiPo4 batteries. And these batteries are very popular in solar generators, mainly because they allow you an extremely long battery life. The batteries in this Explorer 2000 Plus will last up to 10 years if you discharge this completely every day for 10 years. So that's pretty incredible. The Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus has an RV plug for connecting directly to an RV. If this will power the entire RV with one plug. You've got 4 110 volt 20 amp receptacles. And then you've got 4 USB receptacles. 2 are the USB-C, which are capable of 100 watts. And then 2, which is the USB-A, the older style, which are capable of 18 watts. There's a DC 12 volt 10 amp plug for other accessories. Air mattress, bed pumps, 12 volt fans, 12 volt refrigerators, and that type of thing. You can charge this particular model in 3 different ways. You can use a cigarette lighter plug and charge from your vehicle. You can also charge this with solar power. You can put up to, I think it's 1200 watts of solar power to charge this. Okay, I want to demonstrate and show you, if you're interested in the solar charging for the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus. This is a 200 watt panel, the SolarSaga 200. And you can connect 6 of these to the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus for a total of 1200 watts. Comes with a nice carrying case and a nice handle up here, makes it easy to transport. It's got some substantial weight to it. Real nice heavy duty case to protect your solar panel when it's in storage or transportation, which I really like. It feels like it's got some foam padding in there too to really protect. Within this pocket inside the case, you should have your applicable wiring and an instruction booklet. SolarSaga 200 by Jackery, output 200 watts, 18 volts. I'm going to let you guys check the Jackery website for details on the warranty of these products, because there's some variations just depending on what you're looking for. But that is a look at the case. Put that to the side, and then here's your panel, and this is folded up. It looks like a four pieces. This is only a 6-foot table, so my table will probably not be long enough. I don't know the length of the cable offhand, but it looks to be pretty long, and they have some real nice Velcro fasteners to hold that cable. So when you're packing this away and you're moving to a new location or something like that, it makes it real easy. You don't have those twisty wire ties that always get lost. Looks like 12 or 13, maybe even 14 feet in length. And then it also has an adapter plug on the end, and this should plug right into your, right into the back of the Jackery 2000 Plus. Let's unfold this and have a look at it. It's got some magnets that hold the folding part together. Very robust, very durable. It seems like kind of a, I don't know what it's made out of, a fiberglass type panel. It's very, very rigid and durable. And then on the back, you've got, I believe there's 3 of these, adjustable legs, or kickstands, a lot of people are calling them. You kick these out and lean it and adjust your angle to the sun so you can optimize the power that you get out of this solar panel. And just for those who maybe don't know about solar and how it works, generally speaking, this is a 200-watt panel. It's rated that way because it's tested in a very controlled laboratory environment. But in the real world, with different conditions, different angles to the sun, different temperatures, heat degrades the performance. All those factors come into play, and you're never, probably ever, going to see exactly 200 watts out of a 200-watt panel. Jackery, on some of the website information I read, they kind of estimate this around 160 watts, and that's how they gauge the charging times and so forth based on 160. But this is a 200-watt panel. On this end, you've got this orange bar across here, and it has an outlet with a rubber cover that was where you plug your wire into this, that attaches this to your Jackery machine. This is IP68 rated, which means it's waterproof. It's okay for light rain. They recommend no heavy rain and not submersible. But if it sits out there in the environment and it's getting rained on a little bit, you should be okay, according to what I've read on the Jackery website. Here's another one of the kickstands. Looks like this cord is designed to where it only plugs in one orientation. So once you get that figured out, it's just as simple as plugging it in to the back of the solar panel, and then the other end has a barrel plug, and I'll show you. You just plug that into the back of the Jackery. There's 2 plug-in locations on the back of the Jackery, so you can plug in 2 of these without any special additional adapters. This all comes with the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus. And then you just need to plug the barrel connector into the back of the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus, and if you've got decent sun, you should be good to go. Now, on the particular day I did it, this is what I was getting off the solar panel. It was kind of a cloudy, cold winter day, clouds coming and going, and I didn't have direct sunlight for the majority of the filming of this. So you can see here I was getting about 29 watts at this particular moment, and at that rate it's going to take 9.9 hours to charge the Jackery from the 89% that it's currently at. I'm getting a little bit of sun, but right now there's a cloud over the sun. It's really kind of a poor day for solar because I've got a bunch of clouds moving through. I saw as much as 140 watts, but then when the cloud came over, it dropped back down to 29. But this will demonstrate and show you how easy it is to set up and use the solar panel with the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus when using the solar panels to charge your solar generator. And you can check the Jackery website. They got a lot more information about how long it takes for how many solar panels you have set up and what you can expect out of the performance of the solar panels. But I think the solar panel is pretty good. I just have a terrible day to do it. And then you can also plug it into an AC outlet and charge it in about 2 hours. So in this video, in this project, I've already charged the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus to its full capacity using an AC charger, and just as advertised, it took about 2 hours to do that. I'm just going to run it for all of my fabrication without charging it and see how much power it takes to build this Penrose Triangle, just for fun, just to see and put it through the test. I'll be running some grinders that are up to 7 amps, a little 110 volt welder, the YesWelder YWM 160, which is also capable of running off of 220 volts, but I'm going to only use it in the 110 volt setting for this particular video. Now, the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus is also capable of expansion, so it can be used as like a home backup system. This one is 2,000 watt hours, or 2,048 watt hours, I believe is what it was. And you can expand that, so it can really be expanded depending on what your needs are. And if you really need some power, you can couple two of the Jackery Explorer 2000 plus machines together to get 240 volts of output if you're trying to run devices that require 240 volts. I'll leave links for both of these machines as well as the Jackery and the YesWelder website in the description of this video if you want to find out more about it and get all the details, along with coupon codes that they've given me to give to you guys so that you could save some money on your purchase. And just a reminder, both of these companies, Jackery and YesWelder, are running some big sales this holiday season throughout the rest of 2023. And if you're in the market for something like this, in my opinion, is one of the best times of the year to make a purchase. It's probably also going to be the lowest prices that you'll see on their equipment for the entire year. Another nice feature of the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus is it's both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capable. So with the free Jackery app on your phone, you can monitor the status of the battery, the input, the output, the battery level, and all of those things, even turning on and turning off some of the accessories. And that could all be controlled through the app. These are 1-inch pieces of steel, 1/8-inch wall thickness, square tubing, 1-inch square. And they've been sitting out, so they're pretty rusty and nasty. They're about 18 inches long, so I hope I have enough material here to do the Penrose Triangle, but I'm going to try it anyway. And I'm basically just using what I have. So I'm going to take my 4.5-inch angle grinder with a flap disc in it. And this is, see if I can get this for you to see. It's a 7 amp angle grinder. And we'll plug that into the Jackery. Got it sitting right here. Let's get this turned on. Make sure it's full power, which I believe it is. We'll double check it. 100%. And I'm just going to plug into one of these AC outlets, and then you got to turn the AC outlets on with a button right here. This button will turn on the DC side. So I'll get that plugged in, we'll turn it on, and then I'm going to take that angle grinder and clean up these pieces of metal, these 3 pieces, get all the rust off of them and make them all nice and shiny, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've got all 3 pieces cleaned up, got the rust knocked off of there with the flap disc in the grinder, and I just wanted to show you on the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus, I took 1% to get those cleaned up. So let me just turn the grinder on and we'll see how many watts it's taken. It takes quite a bit for the startup because it's an electric motor, but it was only about 350 watts or so when it's running. 313, just over 300 watts. And it says I can run that for 12 hours. Well, it's going down, but out of this big solar generator only took 1% to do that little bit of cleaning up that you saw me do on them. So next I'm going to set up a portable bandsaw. I think it's got a 10 amp motor in it. We'll set that up. I got to get all my pieces marked out with the lines drawn, what I'm going to cut and where I'm going to cut it, and then I'll cut those up. And I'm not going to charge this. We're going to start with this 99%. Matter of fact, I'm going to shut it off for right now. Hit that button once and it turns the screen off, but you have to hold the power button in for a few seconds and it'll shut the generator off, so it doesn't pull any power. And I forgot to turn off the outlets, but when I shut it off, it probably automatically shuts those off. So let me get set up for the next one. We'll do some cutting. So here's my Bauer portable bandsaw. And if you look right here, it's 10 amp for this bandsaw. And I've got it plugged into the Jackery. We're sitting at 99%. So when I turn on the outlets, that saw is just automatically going to come on. You probably hear it in the background, but let's see what it pulls. Takes it a second to think about what it's doing. All right, it just came on. So 292, right close to 300 with no load on the saw, just running the saw. So let me show you what I'm cutting. These are all going to be 45s. So I've got a 45 there, one on this end, one here, and one here. So 4 of these 45s, and this is probably 1/8 inch thick steel. So let me get cutting on those and we'll see how we do. All right, that cut through them real nice. I actually had to turn the speed of the saw up just a little bit, and that increased the watts that it was pulling from the Jackery. And when I looked at it without a load, it was pulling about 500 watts off the Jackery. By the way, the Jackery has a 3,000 watt sine wave, pure sine wave inverter in it. And it was no sweat. It didn't even cough. So it handled that 500 watts no problem. And it's a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter, but it can take an initial load of 6,000 watts. So that saw is not even the tip of the iceberg for this inverter that's in this. And we're now down to 97% after some of the cutting and the cleaning of those steel pieces. So pretty cool. I've got all the pieces cut, cleaned up, all the proper angles that I think I need. So the next thing is I'm just going to take the angle grinder with the flap disc and just do this by hand, but I'm going to put a bevel on each one of these that's going to be welded on these 45s. Just, I mean, this isn't structural. I may or may not need to bevel it, but that way the weld will sink down in there a little deeper and hopefully give it a better look. This will be my first time doing any welds with the YesWelder YWM 160. And then I'm going to switch over to a cutting blade on the angle grinder. And I got to cut this one out special, so it's basically just kind of a piece of angle iron. More or less kind of cut it in half. So I'll be using that angle grinder to do all of that, and of course with the Jackery. So let's turn the AC outlets back on, and I've got the angle iron, or the I've got the angle grinder plugged into it, and I'll set you back and we'll get this cleaned up real quick. Okay, I've got my pieces cut out, got my little bevel in there, and my square. Hopefully I can get these squared up on this warped up table. I'm in the process of packing for moving, so my garage is a mess right now. Got the YesWelder YWM 160, and it's plugged into the Jackery along with my angle grinder, which I have a wire wheel on for cleaning up these flux core welds. And I put a fiberglass welding blanket on top of the Jackery just so I don't get burn holes in the top of it if I get sparks over this way. Starting the welding, I'm at 94%. I'm going to try to set up this little camera right here so we can watch the screen while I weld. I suppose I could record the app too, but my phone keeps shutting off. So we'll try this, see if I can get you a screenshot of that, and if I can, I'll put that on the video while I'm welding, and we'll see what this thing is pulling for power while I'm doing these tack welds, and then I'll set it up and weld everything out once I get it all tacked together. So let's get to tacking, see how it does. So for all of those of you who might be interested in the weld settings on this YesWelder YWM 160, for welding that 1/8 inch, 1 inch square tubing, all I did was used MIG mag. I've got gasless. I've got it on smart, so synergic settings. And I set it at 105 amps. I plugged into 110 out of the Jackery, 110 volts AC. 0.030 wire, that's what I've got loaded into it, and it gives me 19.4 volts, just in case you were curious. So let's have a look at the project. I've got it all welded up. Some welds are better than others. I use the same settings for the whole thing, but the little welder did a pretty good job. Maybe I need a little bit of practice, but it's not a structural thing, it's just a... Anyway, got that put together, and by the time I got it cleaned up with the angle grinder with the wire wheel, here's where I'm sitting now on power with the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus, 88%. So it's more than adequate for a little project like this for sure, and it seemed to run that welder just fine. Never tripped a breaker. By the way, there's on one of these sides, in this little door right here, there's AC breakers or circuit reset. There's two of them, one for these two outlets and one for those two. So two separate breakers for those 4 outlets. But anyway, 88%, that's pretty good. So I got a little bit more cutting to do on this project to get it finalized. And let me get that done, and when we come back, we'll see how it turned out. So a big thank you to YesWelder and Jackery for providing the machines for me to do this project, building my first impossible Penrose Triangle. This is not about the final product, although I think it came out pretty darn nice for my first attempt. It's more about the equipment and the ability to use equipment like this in an off-grid situation. Hopefully this video will inspire you and your creative mindset to come up with an off-grid project of your own. And this Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus is more than capable of much larger projects than this particular one. I just wanted to demonstrate what can be done. This whole project only used 12% of the Jackery machine, and not to mention it's expandable from here. This is just the base starting point of what it's capable of. And of course the YesWelder YWM 160, first time using it so far, I really like it. it goes without saying, I'm a huge fan of the YesWelder welding products. They've been real good to me over the past few years, and I think they're the best bang for your buck that's available out there. And I highly recommend their equipment. If you got something out of this video or you just enjoyed the entertainment, don't forget to give me a thumbs up for the video before you leave. Consider subscribing to the channel. And for another video I think you'll really enjoy, click that link on the screen now, and we'll see you over at that video.